again, good evening to everyone who has joined us here as well as online. I hope we are all audible to the people who have joined online. And this is Harshita. So I take care of program executions at Innovation Management Department for corporate, international, and few capacity buildings. So I'll be your host for today. So here I welcome our future leaders who are the startup founders and the mentors and program partners and alum and my steadfast team of the T-Hub. So I'm excited as you guys, and I'm enthusiastic about today where we are launching our Rubrix Cohort 2.0. On that note, I would like to urge to invite Mr. Anish Antony, who is Chief Delivery Officer at T-Hub, to talk all about innovation management, where T-Hub enables startups during their life cycle through each and every intervention, which will be aligned to our 6M and 2P framework. Anish, over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming over. Firstly, I think, thanks. Not a very, I think they changed the photograph. I'm looking a bit older in that. Yeah, that's okay. So thank you very much for coming over. I think we are really very excited to launch the next cohort of Rubrix 2.0. We'll probably try and get into context about how we are thinking about innovation and innovation looking for going forward, right? We believe that how did Rubrix start, right? Initially, we used to do only two programs, which is the Lab 32 program, which was a sort of a business readiness program, right? So So this is how we look at supporting startups programmatically, right? We believe that in their life cycle of from idea to IPO, right? There are multiple, around 4 or 5 inflection points where the probability of the startup to fail is really very high, right? We did an exercise on trying to identify those inflection points on where they are and running programs to support those startups at those inflection points. To give you a bit of numbers, there are around 84,700 startups who are registered in India today, as per DAPIIT, right? But if you look at startups who have raised any kind of funding, right? And why we calculate funding is because funding is one way of somebody is giving you money in exchange for no collateral, just equity, right? And if that doesn't work out, then that equity is not even worth the paper it's written on. Right? So funding is one of the elements for validation, right? So only 5,400 startups have received some kind of funding, right? So that means only 7% of the startups registered have got that one layer of validation, right? So that is one reason why we believe is that all of these inflection points at certain point where the startup ends up, giving up and not continuing the journey. So we've identified these 5 points and we want to support them at these 5 points to make them more successful, right? So initially we started off with just the Lab 32 program where it was a business readiness program. But then we did a sort of a backward integration and realized that for people, there are very high percentage of failures which happen in the first and the second stage itself, which is the idea validation stage, which means I have an idea and because I'm so convinced and I've so bought into the idea that I believe that idea will work. My idea will work, right? And this is the greatest idea and I'm sort of inventing fire and that kind of stuff, right? So what we do is we sort of go and give them a reality check. We also give them a lot of data points which they can use, a third person's objective view as to how you should be looking and what are the parameters which will help you identify if your idea can become successful or not. Who is your client? Who is your user, right? I mean, does it make business sense? What is the total market? Have you calculated the addressable market correctly or not? Does your idea make sense? Is the pain big enough for you to solve and so on and so forth, right? The second piece where we realize where people fail is creation of product, right? If I have to take an example of a medical doctor, right? Then these guys actually know that this is a medical problem and this product will solve it, right? And maybe it is a big enough problem for people to solve, right? But how do I create a product out of it? So I am an MBBS doctor, right? So I don't have any experience in creating a product. So that is why we believe that this next stage, which is what the Rubrix is all about, is to help you create that product which gives you the best chance of making your business alive. When I say business alive, from product, start generating revenue. that is when the life starts kicking into your business. You start getting the steady stream of revenue, right? You don't want to go to the market and then realize that this is not what the market wants, right? Or come back and then reinvent your product. We don't want you to do that reinvention of your product again and again, right? We want you to do it right and do it right the first time, right? Once that happens, what we also want to do is we also want to help you take your product to the market, which means that we also do a lot of corporate innovation programs. We are very well connected with a lot of corporates. We're connected with the government. So as a part of the previous cohort itself, while the cohort was underway, a lot of startups actually started generating revenue because we connected them. Like for example, there was a sustainable startup called Carbon Dynamics, right? So those guys actually went out and started generating revenue while the product was going on itself, because they were slightly advanced. When they entered itself, they had already done some amount of homework on product creation, right? They started already generating revenues even before the cohort was over. So even when the cohort was over, they had like a good healthy revenue pipeline of 50 to 70 lakhs and so on and so forth, right? So we want you to take your product out there, and if you're fast enough, early enough, maybe you can start generating revenues even before you leave the cohort and go out, right? What we also want to do is we want to use this as a feeder to our next program, which is a business readiness program, which is a Lab 32 program. Typically, the qualifying criteria for a Lab 32, which is a business readiness program, is you should be able to see some kind of traction, right? So if you're able to create your product, right, we would not only try and expose you to the market outside during the current program, or also we would like you to handhold you through our next program, which takes you and accelerates your business growth, right? So typically our Lab 32 program sees, since you already received a first sort of validation of your product, that focuses on business acceleration, which means how is your revenue pipeline growing? How is your sales pipeline growing? How is your unit economics? Is it working out or not? So that is the next step of evolution, of course, right? But for that to happen, the gap between after you fixed your product or made your product till you start generating revenue, right? That is a sort of valley that you have to navigate, right? So creating your product efficiently and effectively is very important, so that you can so that valley is very, very short. So you can jump that valley very, very easily. So I would like to request you to please focus on the program. We've got an amazing program structure set up. This program structure, we have sort of validated through multiple market inputs, right? We've got some really experts in business, people who have worked with, some really top-notch companies who have helped us design this program for us, right? Every element of the program, every initiative of the program has been very well thought of. We have some amazing partners on the program with us. We've got F5 with us, who's supporting like really greatly. We've got UCC, we've got Atom State, we've got GitHub. I mean, we've got all of these partners who are really top-notch in their business, right? Please leverage the entire program is what I request, right? We will also be trying to bucket you into red, amber, green, right? So, which means depending on the amount of engagement that you do with the program, right? अगर सोना बट रहा है और आप लाइन में नहीं हो खड़े लेने के लिए, right? Then it doesn't make a difference. You're not going to walk away with the gold, right? So we will be imparting a lot of value during the program, right? What we would request you is to please make optimal use of it, right? That is something that we would really request you. We will also be bucketing you in terms of red, amber, green, depending on the amount of engagement that you do with the program. So at the end of the program, if you're in the red bucket and have not engaged with the program, please don't come back to us and tell us the program has not added value, right? It's not added value because you've not engaged with the program, right? And we will again, as a part of during the program, we will sort of bring out the metrics, how the green bucket of last time did really very well, right? So please stay in the green bucket. Please stay in the engagement of the program. Please optimally utilize our partners who are there, who are supporting you, who come all the way to support you for your program, right? One of the reasons why we are able to keep our costs really down and make it affordable for early stage startups is because of the immense amount of help that we receive from our partners, right? So please give their due value for the effort that they are putting towards your success, right? That is something that we would really request you. After the Lab 32 program, right? Many of the startups or many investors today have started investing in early stage, even at the idea stage, right? What does it mean, right? It means that in 2021, the amount of funding raised by Indian startups were 44 billion, right? And the amount of funding raised last year, right, was 24 billion, right? But the number of deals done last year, right, were 30% more than the number of deals done in 2021, which means the average ticket size, or investors have started investing in earlier stage startups at smaller ticket sizes, right? So we will also try and expose you to investors who are interested in investing in early stage, so that your journey kicks off, that hockey stick start kicking off earlier than what you expected. But again, it comes back to the same thing. Engage with the program, build a great product, prove to the investors that your roadmap is absolutely clean. It's not downs and ups, right? You have a clean graph, right? And those guys will buy into it, right? Exposing you to investors, exposing you to to partners, to our value partners, exposing to the program, that is something that we will do, right? But what I will suggest for you is, after that also we have a T-Angel program which is supposed to help you to raise a round of funding, right? So if your journey is fast, we can probably start exposing you to those investors faster, right? You raise your round of funding faster. But if he says that, boss, having all of these partners along with you, having all the programmatic support along with you, the startup is not able to build a product, right? How do you expect me to invest in him, right? Now that will be a very difficult question for you to answer, right? So please do take the program seriously. Subsequent to raising the investment, we have again a program for scale. Please believe me that more startups die due to indigestion than due to starvation. Okay, you get the money, now you don't know what to do with the money, pizza party, hey, right? But that's not how it works. Okay, so we have a program which will help you deploy that money correctly. We will engage with partners so that people support you as much as they can with credits and offers, so that the money that you generate can be properly utilized, right? Your roadmap is set out correctly, but that is at a much later stage. The point I'm trying to make is, if you get it right here, right, the rest of the journey becomes really very easy for you, right? So, and this is the right place to get it right, because यहाँ पे आप जितना deviation करते हो ना, 1 degree of deviation here, वहाँ पहुँचते it is totally out, right? सबने अपने engineering किया हुआ है, right? At the source, if you deviate by 2 degrees, it goes out by 20 miles on the top, right? So please get this program right. I am very sorry for being so firm here, but I would like to drive the point home. And a little of that is from my background, right? So prior to T-Hub, I was one of the founding team members of MyGate, right? And MyGate grew 10x every year for the past 6 years, right? Prior to that, I was a pilot, helicopter pilot, a wing commander in the Air Force for almost 20 years. I'm a Kargil and a Siachen veteran, right? So believe me, I've lived through it, right? I've traveled the journey, I've traveled this path, right? And what it takes is a lot of grit, there's a lot of determination, and you should be asking yourself, how can I make it happen? Rather than, why is it not happening, right? You need to like be at it, right? Make it happen. We are there along with the journey. Going back, then in that case, how can we make your journey successful, right? If you look to the left-hand side of it, we believe that is a framework that is available with us, right? So the red line on this box actually represents T-Hub, right? So within this building of T-Hub is, we provide all of these 8 elements, which we believe are mandatory for a startup to become successful, right? What does it mean? Which means that, for example, money, right? At a certain point of time, you will definitely require support to raise a round of funding. Startup founders talk English and investors talk Arabic, right? Oh, he'll 3 letter, 4 letter, 10 letter abbreviations फेंकेगा वो, right? Right? So ये बात can just, right? So I think that is where we support for money. So how are we thinking about it, right? We're thinking we go really very deep, right? Which means that we have a funding desk which is available in T-Hub. When you go to the funding desk will first clean you up, saying that, boss, where is your cash flow statement? What is the total addressable market, right? Are you thinking it right or not? How is your unit economics looking? Where is your pitch deck? Get ask all of those relevant questions to you. Once you answer those questions and are sort of ready, we put you in front of an investor, not to ask for money, but to tell you what is wrong, right? To show you the picture of, if I were to invest in you, why am I not investing in you right now? He gives you the holes, right? You go back, you fill those gaps, you come back to him, right? And then we will help you raise a round of funding subsequently, right? So that is how deep that we are looking at it. Programs, of course, we're running those programs, right, which you already talked about earlier. Market access, which means that if you go to a corporate today and say, I want to do a proof of concept, I want to do a pilot, right? The probability is less. You go back to them and tell them, okay, I've been a part of T-Hub. I've gone through their product readiness program. I've gone through their entire program. And then we take you to the corporate and say, hey, you know what? We've been with them for 3 months. They're part of our program. We think they are in the green bucket. Again, the green bucket comes back, right? This green bucket will keep coming back to haunt you, okay? So they are in the green bucket. Now you might want to please give them a POC or a pilot, because we believe that they will do right, right? The probability of you getting a pilot is higher, right? So market access is not only about generating revenue, right? It's about getting your user profile right, identifying who's your client profile and user profile, what is the difference? Somebody is using you like something that I buy for my kid, right? My kid is using, but I am the client, right? So what is the difference between user profile and client profile, right? Get that client profile right. Are you selling it like a product, or are you selling it like a subscription? Get all of those fit in market access before you go out and ask somebody to have a revenue generating, raise an invoice for somebody, right? We have an amazing group of almost 200 all mentors. We have a great selection program for mentors, which means for somebody to become our mentor, it is minimum senior vice president and above. If you're coming from a corporate background, they are CEOs, CXOs of companies. If you're coming from a startup founder background, you need to have at least raised a couple of rounds of funding to become a mentor with us. If you're coming from academia background, then you need to be a faculty of a tier 1 institution. If you're coming from a VC background, or an investor background, you need to have at least invested in 5 startups with a minimum ticket size of 10 lakh each. Right? Once you have, so those are the guys who are eligible for becoming our mentors, right? So we have a great pool of mentors across, we have divided them across sectors. We have divided them across competencies. So please make good use of the mentor pool that we have. The mentor pool opens out to you because you're part of the program now. The next piece is motivation. Is what we would do is we align you with your sectors. We put you together in cohorts of, like for example, if you're a health tech startup, we have a health tech cohort. If you're a mobility startup, we put in a mobility cohort. If you're a Web 3.0, we put in a Web 3 cohort, right? There's a community. And there are around 20, 30, 40 founders already existing in that community. So you share notes, the probability of your success becomes much higher, right? Manpower is where we help. If you're a startup, you're a bootstrap startup, right? How do I hire people? Because I am spending from my own pocket, right? How do I get interns, right? If Infosys calls for internship, the probability of somebody joining there is higher, right? How do I get interns for my startup, which is not even, 6 months old? Why will an intern join me? So what we do is we leverage the brand of T-Hub, right? So last month we had an internship mela where there were 75 startups who rolled out offer letter for almost 470 internships in 6 hours, right? So we leverage a brand. They come looking for brand T-Hub, right? We leverage that brand and we help you hire interns for your organization, right? We're doing another one on February 2nd or February 4th. I'm not very sure, right? We're doing another one. February 1st. We're doing another one February 1st, right? So this is how we help you with your manpower. I want to hire a CTO at a certain point of time, right? Not in your stage, maybe at a later stage. I want to hire a CTO, right? Now, how do I convince somebody drawing a 40, 50 lakh package to quit that and come back and join you as a CTO? How do you structure his ESOPs? How do you structure his equity, right? How do you vest it over what period of time? What is the minimum? What is the maximum? What is the going rate in the market right now for a CTO? What is the going rate for a CBO? What is the going rate for whatever it is, right? So we help you with that piece of manpower as to how can I get great talent at manageable costs. The next is partnerships. where when I say partnerships, what we do is we have identified approximately 13 categories, right? It could be categories from cloud computing, it could be DevOps, it could be HR, it could be legal support, it could be anything. BFSI, banking financial services, it could be anything, right? And each of this, again, we've developed into subcategories, which is, if I'm looking at cloud, then how do I have cloud storage? How do I have cloud computation? How do I have, various things, right? Now we go back and sign up with these partners. We identified two things. Are these guys the best in the business? Point number one. Point number two, we go back and tell them, you know what, dude, there are like 1,000 startups who are going to be there in this building, right? And we are going to open up all of them for you. What is the best that you can do for them? So when you're looking for a lawyer or when you're looking for a company secretary, you don't have to spend that 3 or 4 months asking friends who's a good lawyer. And at the end of it, you still don't know how to evaluate a lawyer, right? So we have done that evaluation. We've empaneled them. We have talked to them to give you a great discount, right? So you just come and tell me, I need a lawyer. I'll give you these 3 options. Go to one of them, and they will give you a 30% less than, at least a 30% less than card rate that is available outside, right? How we are thinking at it, if you get off the flight at Delhi, you get into Uber, you should be getting a discount. You get into an Oyo, you should be getting a discount. You get into HRC, you should be getting a discount. You catch your flight back, you should be getting a discount, right? So that is the kind of depth that we are looking to provide you with. Please leverage that, right? We have identified almost around 90, 97 odd partners who we have already engaged with. We have signed MOUs with them. They're already rolling out. Some of them are sitting right here, right? So they are our own, some of them are own T-Hub startups, right? So they are sort of, in fact, we sort of ask them to pay back, right? If you feel that we have done good for you, please extend that to our next generation of startups, right? And we will come back to you also, saying that if we have helped you, then why don't you extend back to the ecosystem, right? So that is how we look at partnership, and also we provide a lot of policy support. What is the current policy on I don't know, cyber currency, right? What is the current policy on EV? How is the government looking at it, right? We also are the sounding board for the government, where they put a lot of white papers to us where we ratify saying that this will work, this will not work. And we help them define their policies, right? That piece again we do. So we'll be able to give you a lot of policy support on that, right? My request to all of you would be, so this is what we have, right? Please leverage it. Please reach out. One of the deliverable for our own value partners desk is the amount of engagements that they will be able to make between our value partners and the startups. Okay? उसका variable पे depend होगा कितना engagements किया है उसने. Right? My value partners are very happy. So that's good. So I think that is how we're looking at it, so that you can be able, guys can get out a lot of value out of this. So I am sort of done here.
Thank you, Anish, for setting up the platform and driving us with the right path for today. And now, without any further delay, I would like to introduce our super team behind the Rubrix. That is Vinay Peddinti, Program Lead, and Krishna Kumar and Mayuk Reddy, who are Program Associates, who will be associated with you all for this 100 days of journey starting from today.
Thank you for setting the stage, Anish. You see 3 statements on the screen. These statements are the mantras of how we have designed Rubrix. You're not able to see it? I'm sorry, okay. Yeah. These are the mantras behind how we have designed Rubrix, right? The first thing is you really have to solve your problem before you start putting your first line of code. The second is don't worry, be crappy. I mean, this is something that we really want each of the startup to have this on the... Okay, that's okay. You can increase the volume. Yeah. Second one is don't worry, be crappy. It's okay to be crappy. It's very important for you to know what you're trying to build. The third one is don't let the technology limit your imagination. Technology is just a tool, but imagination is what really drives innovation. With this, I welcome you all to the launch of Rubrix at the T-Hub today. Sorry. Yeah. First of all, congratulations to all startups for being here. You are one out of the 365 startups who have actually applied. A big round of applause to everyone. This is after 3 levels of screening. I'm sure most of you've met the program team during the pitches. We got to speak to you, understand your capabilities, and understand more about your idea. Then we have a second and a third level of evaluation. That is where we have selected 13 startups. This is the cohort composition. We have startups from different sectors. Right from fintech. Fintech has taken the largest size in this cohort. Then we have health tech, agri-tech, deep tech, people working in MIAL as a horizontal. We have enterprise, and then one startup in EV mobility as well. We have 2 startups in EdTech. Okay, now I would be taking you through the program flow. This is a 100 days to MVP program. We support startups to build a globally acceptable MVP within 100 days from today. So today is day 0. That is where most of you have built your prototypes or your have a POC. Day 20 is when you will have clarity on the problem solution fit. We look at the program this way. We say you have a larger problem, then you have a solution to the problem, then part of the solution is the product that you're building. So the problem solution fit would happen by day 20. Then day 40 is when you would be building your user-centric design. You would be building your user flows, you would be building your customer journeys. All of that would happen by day 40. During this part, we also give you the support to identify the tech stack. That would be done by day 45. Day 100 is when you have your MVP out. After day 100, you have 2 tracks that we give you extended support of 20 days. The first track is where we expose you to betas and pilots. As Anish was talking, we would also give you some market access with the corporates and other partners that we have on board. That is the first track. This is for startups who have already finished their MVP by day 100. For some of you who need a little more support, for some of you who have backlogs during building your product, we would give you that 20 days as extended support to help you build your products. During the course of the program, we have several interventions that I'll take you through in the following slides. Once we have finished the extended support of 20 days, that is when we give you a demo day. This demo day is where you get to sit with some investors, talk to some partners. We will have corporates come here. And then a lot of market access connections and investor connections would happen during the demo day. The typical 5D framework of product development is followed for this program. Define, design, discover, develop, and deliver. The first 4 phases is what you would be doing in the first 100 days. The 5th phase, that is the deliver phase, is what you would be following during the 20 days of extended support. Define is where you start defining your problem, understand your market, define your user. All of that would happen in the define phase. Then comes the design part, where you would typically be designing your product, the user flows. All of that would come in the design. This is where you build a user-centric design for your product. We also help you build your wireframes and mockups during the design part. Then comes the discover part. That is where you would be discovering the technology that can be used to build this thing. So the third mantra that I was talking about, don't let technology limit your imagination, that is here. So we don't want technology to come before, we don't want you to identify the technology before you start designing. So you're done with your design, you know what you want to do, then that's when you go out and find the technology needed to build that particular product. Then comes the develop phase. That is typically the entire 50 days of your second half of your program. This is where you would be running sprints for each of your sprint. Then we have teams, partners supporting you to build and run these sprints. So typically by the 100th day, you are expected to have your MVP. And then the extended support is during the deliver phase, where, as I told you, you have 2 tracks. Track 1 is where we give you betas, pilots, and help you test your products. The track 2 is where we help you build your finish your backlogs, if any. These are the different interventions that we have. This is how we typically run the program. You have different workshops that you would be exposed to. These are typical classroom sessions. We have industry leaders coming take these workshops. We also have a lot of academia faculty come down and take these workshops. Then we have mentor sessions. Each of you would be aligned to one mentor. Anish was talking about how we do this mentor selection. Each mentor would help you take you across the entire prod dev journey. Then comes the expert hours. We have a lot of partners for this program. Each of the partners, you have SMEs come down, support you, sit down with you, identify where you need support. They do one-on-ones with you and help you navigate those gaps. Office hours, this is where the program team, the extended program team would sit down with you, identify gaps that are missing or pieces that are missing across all other interventions. Then comes your templates and resources. This is where we give you a lot of templates to fill in. Most of you might have done, say for example, market research, right? Maybe you might have Googled or pull out reports and all. But I'm sure most of you would not have put that in proper template. So this is where the templates would come into picture. We give you templates to fill in, and then these templates are reviewed both by the experts and by the mentors. This is the program timeline. We launched the program on 17, that is today. Then we have a mid-cycle review. We take a break after our discover phase. From the 5D, we are finished with the first 3Ds, define, design, and discover. Then we take a break of 1 week. This is where we do a mid-cycle review. Our partners would come down, your mentor would come down, then you sit along with the extended program team, the program team, and validate all that you have learned and built across the first 3 phases. Then we give a break of 1 week, that is 6th to 13th is where we also help you clear your backlogs. Then 13th of March is where we resume the program. Till 5th of May is where we run the program, and then 5th is where you graduate. So day 100 is 5th of May. You are expected to build your products by the 100 day, that is 5th of May. From 5th of May to 26th of May, that is going to be your 20 days of extended support. After 26th of May or on 26th of May is where we will be doing your demo day. Yeah. What does it take to be a great founder? Building products is one part to it, but we believe that there are several other things that a founder should have. That is where we have track 2 for the program, that is Founders Essentials. We give you the art of storytelling. Building a product is not just enough. You need to know how to tell stories behind your product, talk about your product. That is where we expose you to a module called Art of Storytelling. Then 101 of Finance. This is where we see a lot of our startups struggle, because we are not sure how much budgets do we have, and how do we spend that budget. Then we have partners come down, take this module of 101 of Finance. We help you structure your product finance. We help you have your finance against your resource plan, against your product roadmap and all. Then comes failure stories. This word, I don't see it as a negative word. Failure is something that is very important. Each of us actually should go through failure. I've been through a couple of failures in my life. So failure story, we will have people who've built great products but couldn't make it to the market. We'll have such great people come down, talk to you, share their insights with you during the failure stories module. Creating ESOPs is also one such module where, since most of you are in your early stages, you would definitely want to give stake against salaries that any of your resources would expect. So it is very important for you to know how to create ESOPs and how to get the right talent and resources on board. That is why we have created this module where we would expose you to how to create ESOPs, how do you negotiate with people coming on board. Till now, that is what we are going to do. This is where what startups are going to do, right? So you have your part of things as well. We expect you to spend 6 to 8 hours every week during the 100 days. We expect you to attend all your sessions, RSVP to all your sessions. There should be a constant cadence on what is happening with your product with us. We expect you to give feedback after every intervention for us to improve our interventions, for us to help you build your products better. Submissions, this is something that is very key. We expect you to submit all your templates and then your whatever is being given to you on time. Last but not the least, we expect you to ask for support. This is very important. We there's very limited that we can do from our side, but once it comes from your side, we push ourselves to deliver more than what is there. So always please remember, ask for support, ask whatever you want. You're sitting in the world's largest innovation campus. There are a lot of things that T-Hub can do, so please feel free to ask whatever you want to. Again, as I told you, led by entrepreneurs, backed by industry. The entire program team who is going to work with you, we are all entrepreneurs. I myself have built 2 startups myself. Most of my career has been, I've been an entrepreneur for most of my career. So are the other program team members, Krishna and Mayuk. We have great partners on board, Atom State, Digital Fabric, F5, GitHub, Moolia, and UCC. These partners take up ownership of the 5D framework. Each of the entire 5D framework has been divided into modules. So each of this partner has taken up ownership of some of these modules. They help you. They take a workshop. They help you work on your templates. They give you the tools and resources to finish your module. As well, they sit down with you one-on-one if need be to help you navigate that particular problem. I thank all the partners sitting here from bottom of my heart to give to extend all the supports that you are. Thanks a lot. Big round of applause to partners. With that, I come to an end. This is the extended team that you would be working with, the entire T-Hub. We are not just 3, we are 63 members. So, we are going to give you all the support that is needed. Welcome aboard, welcome to Rubrix. We'll make sure your 120 days are going to be memorable. With that, thanks a lot. I'm available for any questions offline right now here, especially from the from the startups. Please. Like we have someone joining us online, so they should be able to.
So we are expected to join everything offline or online?
So the program is a hybrid program. We have resources joining across the continents. So some of these sessions are going to be hybrid. We expect you to come to T-Hub 3 times. 1, right now you're here. 2 is during your mid-cycle review. Then 3 is going to be your demo day or your graduation day. Most of these sessions would be hybrid sessions. Either I'm very clear or I'm not at all clear. Please.
I am Nagraj. So I would prefer in that 100 days, most of the time would work as a year directly. It's how can I make the intervention?
We can work around. We have some discounts for people picking up the seat during the program.
Okay.
So we can
during the program.
Connect offline to get that thing sorted. Sure.
Thank you.
Anything from the partners? Hopefully.
Vinay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Someone is asking on.
Vinay, I've asked a question in the chat. If you can take some questions from the chat, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you. Rupesh, thanks for that question. I really want to make this very clear. Rubrix is not about funding. We are not going to give any commitment on funding. We want you to completely focus on building great products, building innovative products, and not on funding. Definitely, once you have your product, during the demo, we will have investors come down. You get to talk to them. If they like your product, you get to take things forward. We have such stories from our cohort 1 as well, where investors were interested and the conversations are on. But please, I'm making this a point again, we do not give any funding as part of Rubrix. The focus is completely on building great products. Anything towards that, we are always there to give you that support.
Yeah, thanks, Vinay.
Thank you. Only by asking questions or something else? Rupesh, was that right now or?
No, I think those were the earlier questions. This was the recent one.
Great, great. Thanks a lot for that. Anyone else?
So I think Vinay has been amply clear, right? But I just wanted to. Is this working? Clicker working? Yeah. Yeah, So I'll just run you briefly through, I think, this piece, right? Just hold on. Yeah, it's good. So I just want to run you through this piece, right? I think you will obviously have a look at it again, but these are your major milestones that you will achieve over a period of time, right? So if you're ahead or behind of the track, I think you should sort of evaluate yourself saying that, I need to buck up, I need to take pace, I need to slack down or whatever it is, right? So these will be some really major milestones that you have, right? Now, coming to the next slide, it is how do we reach those milestones, right? Those milestones we go through with these 5 stages, right? Which means, and in every stage, we will have those themes which will get covered, which means in the defined stage, the themes are market landscape, user research, scoping the problem, solution fit, design thinking, customer journey, and prototype validation, right? So if you do this, then you would be hitting your problem solution fit in 20 days, right? Now, these themes, how do I get these themes across to you? We get it across to you with these interventions, right? So each of the theme, depending on the theme, either you'll be doing a workshop or you'll be doing a mentor session. Anyway, you'll get one dedicated mentor to you in any case, right? So how we achieve those themes or we put those themes across to you are with these interventions, which is workshop, mentor sessions, expert hours, office hours, and templates, right? This is how we put it across to you. Those are the themes. And if you hit those themes, you will hit that timeline, right? So that is how the program is structured. And of course, I mean, this is more like the review, and to ensure that you are at the checkpoint, we have these review mechanisms in between, right? Now, it is not only about the product, because the themes that we talked about is about the product, right? Beyond the product, you need to grow as a founder, right? Founder is not only about the product. So hence, these are also the narratives that we cover parallelly. These are not only, this has nothing to do with your product, although it's a product readiness program, right? But these are some things that will help you grow as a founder. Because parallelly, आपको founder का भी growth चाहिए आपको. Product तो एक तरफ growth हो रहा है, right? You need to grow as a founder also, right? So this is to support so that you don't lag. I mean, you will be spending 1 day in a week or like 6 hours in a week creating a product, right? So this will compensate for that, for growth as a founder, which means you're not only spending time growing as a product, you're also growing as a founder, right? Which means you need to, once the product is ready, you have to be able to sell the product, right? So storytelling is something that we'll need. You need to manage your finances, right? Product ban gaya, baki sab kaun dekhega, right? You need to learn from others' experiences, right? What they did, how they failed, how they passed. And the last piece is once you create a product, you need to build a team. You need to build a great team. And how do you get that great team, make that great team aboard? A very big element is where you create ESOPs. Okay? So that is the piece which helps you grow as a startup. I think that is something that I just wanted to reiterate. Great work, I think, Vinay. I think it was very, very clear. But I just wanted to sort of get the guys to give a context of what we are trying to do throughout the course of the program and how the program is designed. Thanks a lot.
Anish, can I ask one question?
Yeah, where is this from?
I am asking.
Online. Yeah, please
no,
go
I'm
ahead.
from Zoom. I'm asking. Yeah. I have a question regarding mentors. Of course, all mentors are great, and I think they have achieved in their area and they're expert of their area. But how do you decide the mentors? Do we get to choose, or what is the process for that?
Yeah, so what we do as a first level is that when the program starts off, the team will do a one-on-one with you, right? They will try and identify, so the mentors typically we decide on two grounds, right? They have to align with the sector that you're working in, right? Which means that for most cases, we will try and align them sector-wise with you, right? So if you belong to a particular sector, in most cases, the mentor is aligned with you. The second is what is the kind of product that you're building, right? Depending on that, the kind of mentor will be one-on-one mentor will be aligned with you. So there are two types of mentorship which happens. One is a dedicated mentor for you during the course of your program. And the second time is from time to time, we will be using mentors for these kind of interventions that we'll be doing. Right? For these interventions, for the workshops, we'll be using mentors. For the mentor sessions, we'll be doing mentors. But these are more like bursts of interventions that will happen. Right? So there'll be one dedicated mentor throughout the program, and then there will be the specialist mentors, high potential, high engaging mentors who will come and do this burst of sessions with you for engaging with you in these formats for these modules and those themes. Right? Because I cannot expect, for example, I cannot expect one particular mentor to cover all of these themes on a one-to-one mentor, right? I will be able to find somebody who's really good in teaching you, risk and compliance, environmental risk and compliance, for example, right? So I would like to have a dedicated mentor who will come and teach you environmental and risk compliance, right? So that is how we use the mentors. So have I answered you?
Yeah. Thanks for answering.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinay and Anish, for such an insightful program briefing, and all the best for Rubrix 2.0. So now let's have a quick break where we are serving high tea towards the extreme right. I request everyone to walk from this way as the doors there are shut. And you can just walk from this door, and there is high tea served in the extreme right side. Before that, I just wanted to do a quick announcement. I request all of you who are present here as well online to follow all the social media handles of T-Hub. And for today's event, we have come up with a really fancy hashtag, that hashtag Rise with Rubrix. All these pictures and videos which has been taken today, you can tag T-Hub as well with a hashtag of hashtag Rise with Rubrix. Yeah, we'll break for a quick 15 minutes and we can reassemble here in the same place. Thank you all. And after that, it will be followed by elevator pitches and partner insights and few testimonials or experiences shared by our alum startups of this program. Thank you. Where is partner insights? As you all know, Rubrix is associated with 6 elite program partners who will be serving and enabling their services to the entire cohort for their journey of this Rubrix program. With this, I would like to invite Mr. Venkat from Atom State to share a few brief about the services and offerings of Atom State.
Very glad to meet you all here. 30 new startups trying to build something to disrupt the world or to create lasting impact on the world. That only time will tell after 100 days. Thank you. Yeah, for us, 26 plus months of, we are in the startup ecosystem. We have started our life started a journey at T-Hub as a small startup with 2-member team. And in 26 months, we are about 42 plus, thanks to T-Hub ecosystem for facilitating startups like us, mentoring us, and asking us to mentor the newcomers. That's a great journey for us. Thank you so much. So there are only 3 things. I love the word, which when I said, the same thing I talk everywhere. Embrace the failure, kindly fail. Please fail. Then only you will have another chance to really learn, upscale, and not repeat the mistake once again. So embrace the failure. Then second thing is, don't bother about valuation. Don't bother about fund. as Anish and Vinay pointed out rightly, focus on your core thing, that is developing a product. Then other things will automatically follow. I'm the biggest example. Even now, we are 100% bootstrapped. I'm very happy about it. So the third thing is believe in yourself, believe in your product. I know these are all sugar-coated words, but these are all practical from my journey, which I would like to really quote. Believe in yourself. ऐसे हिंदी में कहावत है मस्त रम मस्ती में आग लगे बस्ती में. So that type of an attitude you need to have. You have a great product you're building, and you are definitely going to change the rule of the game, that is users. So have that belief. I'm building a product. People are going to use it. And finally, the teamwork. Team building is a very, very important element here. Trust the team. Work along with the team. No bossism, but just bondism. That really makes startup life very, very easy and comfortable. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you all the best. And we are here as a partner to all you guys, not to just mentor, but also to work along with you and guide you wherever, teach you wherever we have done a mistake, so that you will not repeat those mistakes in building the products. So you can depend on us completely. And we are going to have dedicated 2-member team exclusively to extend the support to you 13 guys. Whatever the module we have got, we are going to do 100% justice for that, so that post the program is completed, still we will continue our togetherness together. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Venkat Garu. So I request Anish and Vinay to please come onto the stage and give a token of gratitude to Venkat Garu. Now let's move on to Digital Fabric. I would like to invite Mr. Ashwin from Digital Fabric to share offerings about Digital Fabric. Over to you.
I'm Ashwin Gaidani, founder and CEO of Digital Fabric, and I'm glad to be part of this program. So at the first place, I would say congratulations to choose this most innovative journey for yourself, because I think it takes a lot to choose what you've done. And as rightly our friend said, and even I'm also part of the same clan. It takes a lot to be a founder or to start an idea and then drive it through and then see to its completion and then again start yourself again. So, and again, I'm not sure if you all know that the T-Hub has been awarded the best startup or the best incubator in India yesterday.
Recording in progress.
So, you know that you're at the right place. So that reiterates and pronounces the fact that you're sitting in the right place where you'll get the right guidance, which is nonetheless but the best. So at the Digital Fabric, what we do is we focus on 3 core areas, which is research, strategy, and governance. Research, the first module, I think we'll be interacting. We will spend some time together on understanding the methodologies, because we all think we know research, but I believe it is completely different when it comes to understanding the dynamics of information that you are going to use, right? So research is a very critical aspect. So market research, product research, competitive research, all these aspects are very important to be covered at the first phase when you are planning to build an idea. And then again go back to it, some research which is supported by the data that helps you to take a decision to move forward or not, right? Then comes strategy. Again, the strategy focuses on services, products, and the business strategy at the same time. So we also focus on helping you build the GTM, which is the go-to-market strategy, product market fit, to help you come up with the diversification or expansion strategies, especially with your partner ecosystems. And the third focus area for us is governance. So that's where we focus on helping to build internal policies or internal standards, the best practices that are required for every startup. And so this is my favorite line, which I always use, is operate like a corporate. Only because you are a startup, it does not mean that you have the privilege to be unorganized. You have the privilege to be, random. But everything that comes out, the way you operate, the way you handle things, they have to replicate the way any large corporate, functions, especially the processes. So again, I would really like to, just imbibe this, that we being a startup, we don't have any discounts. Actually, we have more risk, everything at risk. So operate like a corporate, that thought process gives you that frame of mind that even we are at a par of any international company that's operating. So these three are the focus areas that we offer at Digital Fabric. We have a very strong team. Again, so we are lead analysts. We work with the world's largest or top 3 research firms. We work with the best or top 2 best management consulting firms in the world. And we do have few very niche service provider firms as our active engagements. So looking forward to interact with you all and hope to speak to you soon. Thank you, guys.
Ashwin, can you please stay back? Yeah. Here is a small token of gratitude. A huge round of applause, guys. Thank you, Ashwin. Now I would like to invite Mudit from F5 and share a few words about their offerings. Mudit, onto the stage, please.
I invited Annie to come up here because she's really the driving force from the F5 side for our participation in this program. I'm going to tell you a few stories and draw whatever conclusions you want. So the first one is, I grew up in a village, and then, my father passed away when I was very young, so my mom was a school teacher who brought us up. And we, both brothers, won scholarships to study at the Doon School in Dehradun. And I was in my 10th class, and the headmaster said, you better go and leave the country for some time, because you're going to come out and you're going to have to work for your classmates whom you're beating at everything when you're in school. So this capital and having the support of a family that has the resources to pump into you to do startups, it's a huge advantage. And in our country, this needs to be balanced and equalized. And T-Hub is doing that. It's making available to you things which are easily available to a very select portion of the population. In fact, I was talking with Annie. Annie and I just went hiking in the villages around Dehradun. We actually need a feeder even into the T-Hub, right? We want to see village kids think about innovative ideas and then make it to this stage that you have made it to. So first of all, congratulations for making it here. So from Doon School, I listened to my headmaster, and I went off to the US to study in something called the United World Colleges. And they bring students from every country in the world. It's another innovation to try and create world peace. And I think I often think about that. There were 5 or 6 United World Colleges when I was a student there, 11th class, 12th class. And there were students, from the then USSR, the Soviet Union, which many of you were not even born. You may not even know that there was such a thing, right? In the middle of the United States, there were students from Israel and Jordan and Palestine. During my orientation, I had to do some rock climbing. So there was an anchor on top, and I had to climb up this rock. And there was a person who was belaying me. So in case I fall, they grab hold on to the rope and make sure I don't fall and break my head. This person happened to be a woman from Pakistan. A woman from Pakistan in 1986. So this United World Colleges is an innovation which is trying to create world peace. Sounds like a lost cause, but we've been growing. And when you look around the world, it seems like it's not working, but we keep on going. Right? So our spirit, my spirit is infused with innovation. So after that, I showed up in New York City to study at Columbia University, and my mother called. And in those days, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have the internet. So I would make a phone call, and there was one phone in the community where we lived in Agra. And someone would run home, and my mom would come, and 15 minutes later, I would call again. And this one day she said, "Aapko गरीब लोगों को सफ़ेद खाना खिलाना है, आपका कोई ग्रह जो है ज्योतिषी जी ने बताया ठीक से सेटल नहीं हो रहा है. Some planet is not aligned, and you have to feed some poor people something white. So what do I, I have to listen to my mother. I'm in New York City. What do I do? So I find this Italian pizza place, and they have something called Pizza Bianca. And now all this stuff has come to Hyderabad. I'm sure you can find it. It's pizza with white cheese. So I convinced them to donate some Pizza Bianca because I cannot buy. I'm a student there, right? Then I have to find Garib people, right? So I find the homeless community in New York City, and I'm brokering this feeding of white Pizza Bianca for these, right? And I made friends with that community. And actually, one of my mentors ended up being from that community. And my first startup was to try and get homeless people off of streets in New York City. And it was a wonderful failure. Our plan was to collect wood out of dumpsters in New York and make bookshelves and sell it to Columbia University students. We made one bookshelf that I had to buy, right? Now, what happened is, in this so the product market fit was just not there. Our ability to execute wasn't there, but the intention was strong. And Shorty, who ended up becoming my mentor, advised, he said, look, once we make it to the streets, it's too late. You have to intervene at the children level. And so we went and devised a program where there was a psychologist, teachers, volunteers. We took students from inner city New York who were failing from special education programs in the city and invited them to our program at Columbia and sister college Barnard. And 5 years later, 80% of these children made it to college or to the Job Corps. And so that first failure, that bookshelf, the learnings from that failure turned into insights that we applied to this second innovation. And notice, that's my first startup. I funded it by delivering New York Times every morning at 5 a.m. And my resume when I graduated from college used to say, rain or shine, delivered New York Times every single morning as a paper boy, throwing the paper, right? And so I'm not talking about like a 100x return startup here. This was my first innovation. And the thing is, it really is addictive. You want to change the world once you get going. So I'm really excited to see what happens to you all. After that, we can talk about the uninteresting part of my life, which is 4 startups. Some of them exited very big. And then one of them, delivered a very great product about 20 years before its time. That's the one that I'm most proud of. Because everything which is happening in the technology world today is back to the future for me. I've seen all this 20 years ago when we created this stuff. We were just too early. So when I look at the T-Hub stages, they've really got it down. Is your timing correct? Is their product market fit? And I saw, on the chart that you saw, you begin with the idea. And I think somebody said, please fail and fail quickly. There's a correct way to fail. And the correct way to fail is to get whatever you have in front of your customers as soon as you possibly can, so you can get real feedback. Not just slides. you'll learn how to pitch, and pitches will be very interesting, but you will get real data when you put something out in somebody's hands who can use it. And by the way, that is the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing to do, all my startups, is to get someone to use what you have. I could not convince any Columbia students to buy bookshelves. It's very hard to do. We built them. It's not hard to build them. It was very hard to convince users to adopt what we had built. So the last thing I would say is really engage with the diversity of, the density of innovation and the diversity of innovation. Right? The density of innovation is very important. If you are trying to solve problems and thinking about solving problems on your own, in your lab, you'll figure it out. But it's going to be much faster, probably you'll come up with a much better solution if you're interacting with each other. Even if your startups are different, you're all building apps. I looked at your 13 profiles, right? And there are best practices that you can learn from your mentors, you can learn from us, but there are things you're going to discover and share that with each other. When there's density, then the whole system is much more efficient. And I think I can keep going on and on and on, but I'm gonna stop here. Annie, you get to talk.
I have nothing to talk about, Mudit. Your pearls of wisdom, I think everybody benefits from it a lot. And we're hoping to learn from all of you as we engage further. That's going to be our key takeaway. Hope to form more lasting, more deeper relationships with these startups here. And that's our hope. So all the very best.
Yes. One thing about F5. So F5, how many people here have heard of F5 before? A few of you, right? So F5 is a very cool company. It is, I should say it's a human-first company, really cares about the world. That's why I work there. And you kind of have my background, right? F5 tries to help its customers unlock their superpowers in delivering user experiences to their users. So a bank, a hospital who's trying to build digital experiences for their users, F5 is there to help those customers deliver these user experiences in various ways. And so every day we interact with someone who's delivering a new app, we learn something new. And we learn how to help that customer deliver the app better. So we're really, as Annie pointed out, we're really looking at this as a two-way street. You'll learn from us, and we hope to learn from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mudit and Ann. I request Anish and Vinay to please hand over.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to our next partner, Mulya Testing, who has joined us online. So there is Vaishak, VP of Mulya, and Cheryl. I request Vaishak to please unmute yourself and share your screen and continue the presentation.
Thank you. Great. Hi, my name is Vaishak. I represent the organization called Mulya Testing. Like the name suggests, we are a software testing solutions organization. Our story is simple. We've been in the industry for almost 12 years now. What we do is we help early stage to growth stage organizations set up and scale their testing and quality culture and practice, right? As an organization, our founder, Pradeep, who also comes from a testing background, he's been a tester, he's been a test consultant for multiple organizations. He found Mulya having a testing plan rather than having a business plan, and that's our journey. So our journey has been in helping organizations grow. That's been the main motto of our journey. So in this journey, we've been fortunate enough to be part of multiple growth stories. We work with 35 out of the 105 unicorns in India. We were the first testing team for Flipkart. We've been part of their team even before they had an e-commerce application. Why are for us being part of T-Hub community and Rubrix is giving back to the community, because as an organization we have grown with startups. I always like to state this as we see ourselves as an investor, but not investing money, but investing our testing knowledge. Our experience of working with startups, this is our investment, right? So we see this as a wonderful opportunity to help a lot of organizations who are part of the program to have quality imbibed as a culture, as imbibed at a very early stage, because a lot of times organizations start looking at, because when you I'm sure the first employee that none of you will hire is going to be a tester. You're going to build a product, you're going to find a product market fit, you're going to get customer feedbacks. It's going to be a certain stage before you start looking at looking at quality as an important parameter, which is what we want to change. And there's a way to do it, which is what we want to help all of you achieve, right? So that is where Mulya comes in. We love to be part of this journey. We want to be supporting you in creating world-class products, which is what we've been doing all these years. I'm super glad to be part of Rubrix and part of T-Hub. And thank you so much for the opportunity. We really look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Vaishak. Now I would like to invite Divya from GitHub and share a few words about their offerings.
Hey everyone, first of all, welcome and congratulations. It's a great moment that you're part of
The selected group who's selected and be part of this cohort of Rubrix. I'm Divya, I lead product for GitHub, and I don't have such awesome stories to talk about the startup and this and that. But what I wanted to share about is what tools can we offer you and support you. GitHub is on that mission to help every developer on the world to be able to do more. And what can we do here to support you better? Like you've heard from the previous folks who came, fail fast, bring it to the customers faster, help learn by giving it in the hands of customer, the research. So all of that, and how can GitHub help you as in your tool set to be able to do that. So anybody here who does not know GitHub? Thank you. I was expecting no hands to be raised. Anybody here who can tell me what GitHub does? Yeah? Yeah. Thank you again, because most parts that we hear is it's a code collaboration or a software code versioning system, but it's a lot more than that. And the reason I also wanted to share is as you do this journey, and I love the 100-day program, it will create that rigor for you to be able to stick to the milestones, get on the cycle, and in that mode of working as a corporate early on. So what you can do from the tool sets perspective to automate as much as you can and learn fast and fail fast. So yes, we are the platform where 94 million plus developers are. But the key part that I wanted to talk about is it's not a platform only for code, not the platform where you can just download code or upload your code, but also a platform to help you for your end-to-end development lifecycle, from your DevOps, automating with your actions, to deploying code spaces for your inner dev loop. It just resolves bringing on a new team member very fast. Copilot as your automated developer if you're not able to find developers in the organization. So we have offerings across the board, and you have all of this available. So that's what we bring to T-Hub as well, is bringing GitHub Enterprise for startups. So all of you have access to GitHub Enterprise, 20 user licenses for free, and we would want you to leverage that. Use these tool sets, use us, reach out to us, connect with our team to help, again, use the platform, automate, and get better and collaborate, as he rightly said. So you can join us
using this QR code, get the benefits of getting a free enterprise license for your startup. Any questions anybody has that I can answer?
Thank you, Divya. That was quick and precise information shared. Moving on to our next partner, UCC, I would like to invite Ms. Shipra from UCC to share a few words about their offerings.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the startups who've made it here. And all of us at UCC are pretty excited to be a part of your journey. And I hope we add value to the most important part that you're going to do for the next 100 days is bring your ideas to a more concrete stage of taking it to the market. Little about myself. I am Shipra. I am a postgraduate. I studied my design from National Institute of Design, that's Ahmedabad. And it's been about close to 2 decades that all that I've been doing is connect with the users, because I think that is where everything starts and ends. Most of my time is spent meeting people in their context, understanding who they are, what they do, what motivates them, what are their challenges, not just in the perspective of the product that you're making, but people in general. Because once you understand people as who they are, get their DNA right, then you know where does your story fit into their life. What we do most of the time is we try to fit in our story in the life, and then that is where we see some of the failures or not so great stories that we'll have to live with. So, and I'm the director and founder. I'm the founder and director of user research at UCC, which is User Connect Consultancy. It's been a 100% remote company since the inception. We've been around for 5 years now, and in this 5 years, we've tried to work with teams who are at the most messiest part of their entire journey, which is trying to understand who's my user, what do they look like, where do I feature in their lives, what is their ecosystems like, where can I intervene, and learn from that, and then start to think about their ideas, maybe start to think about what is next, maybe do some future thinking. So overall, we're trying to help our clients foolproof their decision making and bring more common sense packed in context so that you have a better way to make your decisions. And which means that most of us, my team is here, we have Smriti and we have Divesh who's joined me. All that we do is live with the users, travel where they are, understand them in their context, and not just make phone calls to understand who they are, or maybe fall back on my first level network to say, शायद वैसे ही कुछ है तो ऐसे ही इनके लिए बना देते हैं. Right? So we try not to take the shortcuts, immerse ourselves, and we are trying to bring all of that to you here in these next 100 days, where everything will be driven by having empathy at the core, something that maybe doesn't go well with people who think of business and products, but it is something that drives all of us. We are humans at the end of the day, and there are things that motivates and moves us like nothing else. And it is empathy that connects us to the other individual and then makes something more relevant for them. There's a lot of passion that all of us will need. Curiosity, a very, very critical element. Sometimes it's natural, sometimes you got to learn, and it can be done. And integrating everything that we do, because we connect with the users a lot, and having each of their stories intact, but still making some progress. There's a back and forth of showing your ideas to them, taking their stories back to your product. So we do a lot of, we encourage people to also have a few important elements in place. This is a different version, but same story. The many phases that each of us travel through, from idea to your final plan of growth. What happens mostly is people think that at the start I'll connect with my users, I understand them, and it's done. But what I am here to encourage you to do is keep them as your partners in everything that you're doing. Every stage is a great stage to keep connecting with your users. There's going to be a lot of work that we'll do with you hands-on, where we'll nudge you to look for opportunities to connect yourself with the real world out there, right? And very specifically, we will help you get an understanding of what is human-centered design, how do you start to work on it, what is user research. We'll help you create your first set of persona. We'll help you understand what is the journey like of these users so that you learn from those journeys and then see where and why you would want to change your products. And finally, we would like to connect with you at various stages where you want to validate and evaluate your concepts and your products. So you might see us not just in one phase, but throughout. And at the end of the day, it's not just about these few tools and techniques that I would like to, that you would take away from this program. But I would want all of you to start to think towards the end of this program of how do you start to build this as your culture. You're at a very great stage when you're building things, when you're building your companies, and trying to build user centricity right from the start. And if that becomes your way to think and make decisions, I think it's a great start. People do that eventually. Here is a great opportunity when you can start to bring them into your thinking, into your everyday decision making. And I think that will be a great takeaway for us when I leave you on the 100th day saying that this has become the way you're going to think. Irrespective of the department, irrespective of the profile or the role you take in. If it becomes the way for you to think, if it can translate to the culture of how you're going to think, I think that's going to be a great achievement for us. So I'm looking forward to the next 100 days, and I think it's going to be an exciting journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Shipra. Now I request Anish and Vinay to please hand over the token of gratitude. Round of applause, guys. Now let's start with Purnesh, founder of Actilist. I request Purnesh to share a brief about Actilist.
First of all, thank you. Pleasure to be here. We are humbled actually to be part of one of the 13. Briefly about us, we are Actilist, which is Act as a Catalyst. We are an AI startup based out of Hyderabad. If at this point, I believe everyone agrees that AI is going to be one of the most transformational things that we are ever going to see in our lifetime. And our story, like probably many of the founders, is we are building, first of all, AI products for the manufacturing industry, specifically for the manufacturing industry. We tried to solve this on the other side of the table for many, many years. We tried to make manufacturing companies AI-driven for multiple years, and we were left frustrated that we couldn't do it. So, and we realized that we could not do it. Many people would give excuses that it is the culture, it is the enterprise, these are all factories in remote locations, how could you do it? But we firmly believe that they are not. The reason is because manufacturing industry today doesn't have the tools to become AI ready, and at Actilist we aim to build the products that AI manufacturing companies across the globe can leverage and use to become AI driven. That's all. Thank you.
I would like to invite Vinay and Purnesh onto the stage. Vinay, please hand over the token of gratitude to Purnesh. Now, I would like to invite Rupesh, who has joined us online from Bilayer, to share a brief about their startup.
So thanks, Anish, Vinay, team of T-Hub, and all partners for setting up the stage and inspiring us to build the product. As most of the speaker talked about the importance of innovations, this is exactly the sector where we are in. Our product is innovating the paper bills. Now let's take a moment to understand the importance of bill and why don't we take it. At first glance, taking bills doesn't seem to be important. That's why we don't take it. But there are reasons that you should keep the bills. And that's why Government of India also recommends to keep the bills for every transactions you do. But then why don't we keep it? We don't keep it because the process of saving your bills and keeping it is so cumbersome, and that you tend to lose it. So that's why you say, okay, anyway, I'm going to lose it. Why to ask for it? And that's where we are coming in. We have built a system, MVP, which basically digitalizes your bill. And the moment you do the transaction, it comes to your mobile app, and hence it is saved into the cloud, and that you never lose your bills. And it becomes even more important for a business person, because let's say if you lose your bill, how you're going to do your tax reimbursements and declare your expenses. And that's why we have developed this product, so that once you use it, then be it as an individual user, you are going to have the bills of your grocery shopping, or of your dinners, of your business meetings, of your anything, of your any transactions which you do, you are going to have it in your app.
Let's move on to the next elevator pitch. I would like to invite Mr. Krishna Prateek, founder, Career Forge, to share a few words about the startup.
So I'd like to start with a question. Did any of you receive a CV or a message from somebody you know, like your uncle or your nephew, saying, hey, I'm looking for an internship or a job for my son or for my niece, and can you just circulate it amongst your WhatsApp groups or your company and see if they can get a role? And then you open the CV and there's nothing there. There's a lot of gibberish, no valuable points, not enough stuff for a recruiter to make a decision. And you'd want to help out, but you don't have the time. So that was exactly the situation that I was in. And I'm on the T-Hub WhatsApp group. We receive CVs every day, a lot of them without the information that I as a recruit or an employer would need to sort of make an actionable decision. So that is what we at Career Forge intend to do. We want to help students and employees who are in their first 5 years to not only build their CVs, but also help them in their career recruiting process and give them the tools necessary to be successful. Now, I gave the same pitch to Nagaraj, who was sitting there earlier today, and he's like, hey, there are hundreds of free tools. What's so special? I think what we want to do is we want to give customized solutions, but then it becomes like a services startup and you really can't scale. But thanks to AI, I think now everyone's seen all those videos about what ChatGPT can do. We want to leverage advances in AI to give really customized solutions to our customers. And yesterday, again, I was pitching this to Annie from F5, and she's like, hey, we were doing the same thing to some of our customers. And then that just gave me a sleepless night. But I think that's exactly why I'm here. I'm here to take the help of Rubrix. And like Anish has said, we're at a very critical stage. I'm at a very critical stage of my startup. We really want to get this right, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. Please stay back. I would like to invite Mudit to hand over the welcome kit to Krishna.
Congratulations for coming this far. Your attitude is A+.
Thank you. Next, we are having Yashwant, founder eSunrise, to share a few details about their concept.
This is Yashwant from eSunrise Auto Industry. So we are into this fabrication and business from past 25 years. We do manufacturing for APS-RTC and TS-RTC. So we are trying to get into electric mobility. So we are trying to build vehicles for logistics and transportation. As you know, India is facing a very big problem in logistics. So we want to provide end-to-end solution from last mile to first mile. So first we'll go through last mile and we'll slowly go to the first mile and all. So we want to get AI, introduce AI into it. We want to give inboard and outboard billings and all to it.
Thank you, Yashwant. Can you please stay back? I would like to invite Ashwin to hand over the welcome kit to Yashwant. Thank you. Moving on to the next startup, FriendPay, I would like to invite Achyut Patil to share a brief about their concept.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Achyut and I represent FriendPay. Well, FriendPay is a fintech application which helps in users paying their credit card bills even if they don't have money. Let's say you are a credit card user and you don't have enough funds to pay your credit card dues and the due date is near. So if you come to us, we pay your whole outstanding amount and we charge a certain % of service charge on the whole outstanding amount and we pay your bill on your behalf to the bankers. So that's how it works. Thank you.
Thank you, Achyut. I would like to invite Shipra onto the stage to hand over the welcome kit to Achyut. Thank you. Moving on to Grace Swipe, I would like to invite Shubham Kumar to talk about their innovation.
Namaskar, Johar. My name is Shubham Kumar Gupta and I am from Jharkhand. So before saying about GraceSwipe, let me just thank the entire team of T-Hub, Honorable Minister K.T.R. because I come from a rural area in Jharkhand, जहाँ पे मैं हम होता है और we speak कि हम आएंगे हम जाएंगे and all that. So I was just watching a YouTube video and I came to know about T-Hub in 2021 and then I started searching about that what T-Hub is. I applied in Rubrix and out of 375 startup, they selected 13 and one was of mine. So, I literally come from my place is 200 kilometers from Ranchi. 15 years back, it was a Naxalite zone. We share our border with Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh. It was like pure, gangs of Wasipur type of area. But now it's well and good. And thank you very much for this opportunity. Well, about this GraceSwipe. So, GraceSwipe, catered to saloons. I mean, two people. We have two customers, two category of customer. One is the small and medium businesses. The opportunity here is that in Tier 2 and Tier 3 India, the use of digital tool, let's say to manage software, to manage their store and use digital communication and all we see in corporate, they take decision with the help of data and AI and all that. It does not simply exist. And India has a very good small to medium scales in every city. So that is the opportunity which we are catering. And right now, since we can't do everything at once, we are focused on saloons. So what we are building is we are building a mobile-based, powerful, simple UI based software for saloons to manage their saloons, to get the business insights, to actually control their day-to-day activities. That is the first part of things integrated with the booking. I thought that they are asking, the Rubrix people are asking for end users, so I actually write it that it is the best platform to get best saloons nearby you. Why? Because keep it simple, stupid. Why more? Why say more? So this is from end user point of view, and from business point of view, that is there. Now once we are done with the saloon management part, the software part, we will be integrating the fintech solution. For example, I know in 1 year how much business you do. I will be a better decision maker in terms of finance than ICICI Bank or any other bank. So we can be collaborating with NBFCs and other financial solutions to actually help them grow. If you need loans, I have your data of 2 years, man. This is business you do, and I can help you in a better terms to grow. So that is the entire plan. आगे चल के we are also, let's say 5 years down the line, we are also planning of some sort of e-commerce thing on EMI basis. But right now you can think us of as a software company who is trying to build a basic blueprint in software for medium and small saloons, and on down the line we will be a fintech solution for them, saloon management, like everything, digital tools to manage, to everything. So thank you very much.
Now I'd like to invite Divya to hand over the welcome kit to. Next we are having Sumed Sachdev, founder Lucria Consultant, to share a brief about their concept.
Hi, my name is Sumed Sachdev. I lead the team at Lucria Consult. Mera background, I come from a middle class family, first generation entrepreneur. Father was into management. He's no longer with me, so I'm leading the team and the company by myself. I've come to Rubrix to enable technology to be brought into our business and to further to help us scale up. What we do is we take brands from one country and we enable them to expand into overseas countries. If you want to sell your product in a new country, you would want to know about taxation, logistics, custom clearance, intellectual property, product certification, so on and so forth. So these are the solutions that we offer as a plug-and-play model to your business. If you want to set up a company in Turkey, we can do that in a matter of days. You want to know about taxation in France, we can, share white papers with you. So we mostly work in the online domain. We work with the cross-border industry. We're glad that we work with some of the most prestigious brands in India. Reliance Industries is a client. Liberty Shoes is a client. Chayos, Beardo, Man Company, ITC. So we've built traction. We understand that services that we offer are required somewhere in the market. Not everyone wants to go to a KPMG or to a Price Waterhouse, and not everyone wants to deal with 5 different service providers for 5 different compliances. They would rather prefer to work with one single person or one set of team. We've been able to establish that the services are a very good fit for the Indian market. what with technology being brought into the business, what we also want to do is not only dig deeper vertically and penetrate into the same market, but also grow horizontally, add more countries, add more capabilities to our product portfolio as well. We don't just work with product companies, we also work with software companies and service industry as well. And with time, we're going to definitely expand and bring more fintech offerings in the same product portfolio as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Sumit. I would like to invite Vinay, to come onto the stage and hand over a welcome kit. Moving on to the next founder, Rahul Chaudhary from Medate Technologies, to share a few words about their concept.
I don't even know what to speak, but I'm just going to tell what my application does. We're a small, simple application. We are going to digitize the medical records. We are trying to not only digitize a prescription for doctors, but not just in the form of pictures. We're trying to create something new. So for the user, we are just going to help them out by using their data from prescriptions and medical records to create a health score. And we are later going to use this health score to help insurance companies. Pretty much that's it for now.
Thank you, Rahul. I would like to invite Annie onto the stage and hand over the welcome kit to Rahul. Give them a huge round of applause, guys. Next, I would like to invite Bharat from NPay to share a brief about their concept.
Hi, I'm Bharat. So I'm from NPay. So since we work in hand-to-hand with NPCI, and also we enable service providers into the platform, so we found a particular problem where the users in rural areas might face. And what we are trying to solve with the Rubrix is create a super ID that can integrate with all the user IDs that are available. So when you're trying to make a bill payment today, you have phone numbers, user IDs, consumer numbers, and that is clustered. So we want to make it into one, and in a single go, you can click on a consolidated bill payment and make a bill payment in a single payment method as well. This is what we are trying to achieve from Rubrix. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat. I would like to invite Ashwin onto the stage and hand over a welcome kit to Bharat. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Nagraj from Promodi Rewards to talk about their innovation.
Good evening, everyone. I am a founder of Promodi Rewards. Promodi Rewards is simple, basic concepts we bring into the real life. So today we are not considered saving as a instrument. We are not considered more. Saving is less, and we are going to spending is much more. 10 years back, the people, the end customer, like in 3-tier or 4-tier or 2-tier consumers couldn't get the credit to make the purchase or other services. But today everything is very easy to do it. But the people forget to make the buy now pay later going to debt. But what we are trying to do is we provide the financial saving service. So such kind of people help them to get from the saving from the spending. Like if they are using the subscription service, they are 2 or 3 or 10 subscription for every month. 3 or 4 subscription only they are using, but something is not used. We are trying to give into the single platform. They can unsubscribe those services. And next, automate the savings. If the people who look for debt-free commerce purchases, like someone is looking for the phone, they want to buy without credit, they use our platform, goes to the, every month we providing the not EMI as an option, saving as an option. At end of the month, we provide some rewards with end of the EMI, they commit the saving with the end product without debit free. And we provide the other services. They can negotiation services who are all feel they have the debt, but they eligible for low interest rate, but the banks and other financial institutions charge the much interest rate. They come up with our platform. If
the people are really eligible. We provide negotiation with the banking partner and financial institution. We lower their interest rate and other processing fees. Thanks. This is our plan.
Thank you, Nagraj. I would like to invite Shipra onto the stage and hand over welcome kit to Nagraj. I would like to invite Sajid from RoboCalam to share a brief about their startup.
Yeah, hello everyone. First of all, sorry that there will be a confusion over here. Like I am representing Calvinx. RoboCalam is my previous startup. So there, while like communicating with the students and skilling them in the latest technologies, we have come up with we identified a gap. To bridge that gap, we have come up with the concept of Calvinx. Calvinx is a community for tomorrow. कल के लिए wings देना चाह रहे हैं students, so that's what Calvinx will talk about. So Calvinx will try to address the major problem of all the students to get placed into a top MNC or something. So this, with the help of a community for students and industries, we are solving the problem of getting good talent to the industries with the AI-driven analytics and labeling the students how they are good at what they are good at through this Calvinx thing. So we are here trying to address the problem of industries in hiring and students to get placed in a good company. That's what we have been doing from Calvinx. I hope Rubrix and T-Hub team will definitely help us to scale up as fast as we can. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sajid. I would like to invite Divya onto the stage to hand over the welcome kit to Sajid. Thank you. So moving on to the next startup, Kisan Das. We are having Vijay Manohar from Kisan Das. I would like to invite you onto the stage and talk about your innovation.
Hello, everyone. Our startup works in, our startup is into the sector of agri-tech, and we have come up with this idea of building an e-commerce platform for the marginal weekly fruits and vegetable centers in urban areas. So especially when every other business has gone online, but these weekly market vendors, they have been ignored. And so we have come up with this idea to provide a platform for them so that they can track their customers and they can enhance their sales. And also we have set up an agri center in the rural districts so that we will be an advisory to promote and to give the drone services for the farmers. So at this point, I want to conclude and let us build our product along with the Rubrix team. Thank you.
I would like to invite Mudit onto the stage and give a welcome kit to. Now moving on to the next part, here we are to witness the experiences with one of our outstanding startups from Cohort 1, Zenify. We are having Shiv Ganesh from Zenify, founder of Zenify, who will be talking about his experience with Rubrix.
Hi everyone. Firstly, congratulations on being selected for Rubrix 2.0. I can say you are at the right place. There is a wonderful term in English, serendipity, being in a right place at a right time. Rubrix is a place where you can get all the mentorship, support, everything. So as per my experience, I came to T-Hub with an idea of neo-banking solution. So it is a big thing to do actually in a fintech sector. So Rubrix helped me in smoothening my process in a regulatory point of view and everywhere. And we have great mentors like Vinay, and we have support system from Krishna and everyone. So all this can be helpful to you only when you utilize it, only when you're consistent, sincere, and you're passionate about it. Thank you.
With this, we have come to an end. Now I would like to invite Vinay Pedinti to deliver vote of thanks.
I don't want to call it vote of thanks, but thanks a lot everyone for coming down, especially our partners. I'm sure all our startups understood how the partners are going to support the program, right from Shipra supporting us in user centricity to F5 Modat taking us through the technology. We have Ashwin from Digital Fabric who is going to support us in the research part. GitHub is going to give a lot of the tools and resources. We have Atom State, who is going to be your hands-on team. They will give you resources to build your product. So with that, again, I know I'll quickly, one quick announcement. If you've seen the welcome kit, you have a brochure with lot of offers from our value partners. You have offerings from GitHub, AWS, and several of other value partners of T-Hub. Request you to please scan the QR code at the end of the brochure. You will be redirected to a PDF where you get to apply to get all these credits. Again, thanks a lot, everyone. All the very best for all the startups. We are always there to give you all the support needed. Thank you.